This week in music, the crazy factor is cranked to 11. Apple's bank account just took a serious hit due to anti-competitive streaming service rules. And Spotify CEO is comparing musicians to athletes. Let's see how that goes over. And get this, the mastermind behind the disastrous Fyre Festival wants another shot at scamming paradise. Buckle up, things are about to get seriously strange. In our biggest, and we mean that with a B, story of the week, Apple's fine trouble somehow got way worse. Originally, it was leaked that Apple was going to be hit with a $540 million fine after Spotify's complaint about anti-competitive App Store practices. Well, hold the presses, as the actual fine ended up being 4 times that size. It is due to Apple's pricing policies and how Apple charges other streaming companies to pay a fee to be listed in the App Store. The EU has decided that they want to apply for a deterrent for any other company trying to do the same thing. The total fine comes around $2 billion. Yes, with a B, worth of fines. Apple is sure to fight this fine, as the ruling even states that the actual damages for the pricing is $80 million. There is definitely going to be more legal wrangling, and Apple is bound to fight to not have 2% of its total cash reserves wiped off the books. While Apple's value is over the $2 trillion mark, most of that is just in stock, which took a big hit after the announcement on Monday. $80 billion to be exact. I'm sure there's a little Spotify partying happening right now. While Apple is dealing with the EU breathing down its neck, Spotify is having its own issues. Daniel Ek, the CEO of the Swedish company, is making statements that may land him in a hot water, claiming that the company has paid out more than $48 billion in streaming revenues. Ek is blaming the low payouts on independent artists. He states that the music industry is just like football industry, where there's a very small number of people that can live off of playing soccer full time. Ek's statement sounds reasonable because there are more and more independent artists putting music on the streaming platform, and the amount paid out is getting split more and more. But the Spotify still remains the lowest paying streaming platform, even though Spotify reported a revenue increase of 16% in 2023. So, while fees for listing on Apple's platforms are important, many commentators on the post think it needs to look internally at ways to pay artists more. They say that if YouTube, Apple, Pandora, Amazon and Google can all pay more, there is no reason that Spotify shouldn't match the amount the other platforms pay. Native Instruments has grown to be a big company and big player in the plugin world with its purchases from the last few years. One of the bigger purchases it made was for Plugin Alliance and Sprainworks brand. Dirk Ulrich, the original founder of the company, had been working as an advisor for Native Instruments for the last 2 years. Dirk has always been known as the hands-on owner and the face of the company that he built. On Friday of last week, he announced that he was stepping down from his position with Native Instruments with a statement on his social media platforms. Building a brand and a company is a hard thing to do successfully, and most owners passionately involve themselves in the companies to help push them forward. Dirk seems to have wanted to be more hands-on with what was coming at Native Instruments and didn't feel like he was being used correctly. I'm excited to see what Dirk does next and look forward to hearing more about whatever venture he decides to throw himself into. Alright, this is an apology. I know that this is a new platform and I have to correct a mistake from last week. I had reported that DAACI, the AI drum VST, was free to use. As comments pointed out, this wasn't a free open beta, but instead cost $18. We will do better, so to make up for it, here's an actual free tool for you to use. Pixelian X is a platform founded by deadmau5 and Richie Hawtin, and they have introduced a new web-based program, Chorus, that you can use right now. Chorus is more like a game than a true DAW, but it includes some fun features like 2D and 3D elements that you can use to make your music on the fly. Take stems and mix them, use an XY pad for effects, or just use the platform to test out generative music modeled from mousetrap artists. Collect noise points just by using the platform, which will allow you to buy additional elements and move up in the level, just like a game you play online. We are a very small channel and 95% of our viewers still hasn't subscribed to our channel. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider like and subscribe. It really helps a ton. Unplug Red makes some really not normal plugins. One of their plugins is even called a delay for insane people, and it lives up to its title. Their latest plugin available for free is Sunburned, a unique reverb plugin that allows you to draw in curves. These envelopes can be then applied to a whole host of parameters and make your wop-wops wop-wop more than other wop-wops. The company does warn it can be CPU heavy due to its use of convolution. So be careful and don't fry your processor. Softtube makes some of my favorite tools, and for a limited time you can get one for the low price of free! The VC compressor plugin is modeled off the 1970s compressor that is great at being both transparent when you want it to be, as well as adding good texture to your sounds. Adding modern features to the compressor like parallel controls, affinity ratios, and an input frequency detection, all this should make this a really useful and flexible tool. I will put the links on the description below. If modeling old hardware isn't your thing and you want tools that seem more futuristic, this compressor might be what you are looking for. Independent plugin designer Robert van der Helm started the project by considering what will be a 16,384 band OTT sound like. The results are rather crazy. Each of the 16,000 bands can be compressed at different levels, and both upwards and downwards compression can be applied. A spectral readout of what is happening is included in the plugin to give you all the cues needed to do more weird things. While the plugin does need a few extra steps for installation, it's available for Mac, PC and Linux now. So be honest, who had the baby on fire? Wait, what? Seriously? I'm in love with what Vox Samples is doing with their plugins, as their UIs are just so darn cute. They can even light a baby on fire and still make it cute with an H. Fireboy is their latest free plugin, this time called a bass enhancer that adds smooth, rich and punchy bass enhancements without making things muddy. That's at least what they claim. With their trademark simple design, you just get 3 knobs to play with and get this smile each time you apply it to your track. Keep up the good work, Vox, and I can't wait to see what you come up with next. Pittsburgh Modular makes Eurorack modules that do a whole host of things in the modular synth world. While not known for making complete synthesizers, that might change a bit with their keyboard. The design is meant to be a complete modular synth package, with 64 patch points and a number of controls for all the filtering, LFO and envelope following goodness that Eurorack synthesizers allow. What sets this apart from other complete systems is a removable plate that allows just one more customization. A 24-pin space to put whatever module you want into the synthesizer. At $1,400, it isn't the cheapest synth, but it is reasonably priced compared to some other modular builds I have seen in synth influencer studios. Looping live is an art form, and no one does it much better than pop singer Ed Sheeran. Now, Ed wants to make your music making experience a bit more red-haired. This will be a new venture from Time Audio and Headrush Audio, who make guitar products of all kind. 2 new products have been released, including a smaller 2-pedal looper that will record up to 128 loops or 3 hours of music for playback. The bigger and more expensive Looper X expands on those capabilities with 7-inch touchscreen, 99 layers, unlimited loop lengths, and a navigation wheel. The looper is meant to function as a live replaying DAW that can help create drum patterns and loop synth recordings in a fast and simple way. Both units are available now, with the smaller unit retailing for $400 and the later Looper X for $1,300. One of the craziest stories of fraud and music festivals captured everyone's attention in 2017. Fyre Festival reporting happened in real time as influencers detailed their horror at bad accommodations and non-luxury food. And after that, Fyre Festival was mocked, and 2 documentaries were released later to explain the fraud that occurred in Bahamas. The perpetrator, Billy McFarland, who spent time in jail for the incident, is trying again. Seriously, people are paying this guy money still. According to Billy, Fyre Festival 2 will complete the narrative, which he says needs to execute the dream of Fyre 1 as he is now titled The Original Disaster. Billy is not naming the location, but is saying that it is just a 3-hour boat ride from Miami. It is going to be a small miracle if this event actually happens, as McFarlane has been banned from doing business in Bahamas, as well as several other Caribbean islands. So give me odds, people, comment below and let's make wild guesses on this actually happening. In 2016, we almost lost a legend. It happened, the now infamous event where Paul Van Dyk fell through the stage during a State of Trance show. For Paul, it is final time for him to reflect on the struggle that came after the incident. After breaking his spine and recovering from a traumatic brain injury, Paul took a legal action against Alda for the unsafe conditions. The court in 2018 ruled that Paul was due $12 million for the issues that lead to his fall, but Paul hasn't received anything from the company since. Paul is only bringing this public now after years of being ghosted by company, who is claiming that insurance companies are to blame for the delay. The For an Angel producer, we are definitely happy that this incident didn't cost him his life, and I hope the matter can be resolved soon. I think I speak for all of us in saying we are just glad we can still catch Paul touring and releasing his music.